viewers who are already proficient with CSS or viewers who just do not care about the CSS side of our WordPress theme may be bored with the next couple of parts. If this is you, then I would advise you simply watching and seeing if you're going to find something you want to see. We'll discuss our custom post type. That's about the only thing related to WordPress in the next two parts. The rest of it is strictly CSS and styling. We discuss box sizing. We discuss just the basics of CSS. Really, not really discussing, but we're just going over different techniques. We're going over CSS styles. And if you already know all that stuff, you don't really care too much about it, then I would just suggest you wait for the next part after these two parts, or whatever. You know, it's just I just don't want to bore anybody. So here's a bit of a disclaimer. If you fall in that category, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, my name is Austin from awfulmedia.com, and let's continue our WordPress theme today. Today we're going to do a lot of styling, going to make the website look a lot better than it does now. At least in my opinion. I guess that is an opinion thing, but it's going to look a lot better than it is now because in my opinion, right now it doesn't look good at all. You may notice the one thing that's different is the logo is saturated now. There's no color whatsoever. I got rid of the blue in the Q square thing. And we're going to do the same thing for most of the other stuff. We're going to get rid of the blue in the nav bar here. Get rid of the blue in the header, or the heading tag, sorry. And then we're going to, that's not really, I'm talking about styling because that's obviously just changing some values. But we're going to work on this, our thumbnail lists here. And I'm going to talk about the post type that we have for games, because I think we may have skipped something, which is weird because I have it done on my end, but I did not find it in the video that I suggested somebody watch to figure out how to do it. And I apologize for that. So what we have to do is set up the supports for the post type for games. And I don't know how we skipped that. I think it's because of the absent time that I had. I think I was like, okay, next time we're going to do this, and I already did it to the theme, and I was just going to then go over it next time. But next time was like a month down the road, so I didn't get to it, or I completely forgot about it. And I'm sorry, but we're going to go ahead and do that now. I know maybe last video, if you didn't have this done, then you may be a bit confused as to how I did what I did. But what it is this is my post type function that I created, that we created. You should have most of this. The only thing you shouldn't have, I believe, is the supports array right here. So all we're doing is saying supports, and we're going to define what it supports, but we're going to define what it supports within an array, like we have done many times. So inside of the array, we're saying we want to support titles, the editor, the what you see is what you get editor, the big WordPress editor. And then the author, you can change who the author is. The thumbnail, you can set a featured thumbnail. Excerpt, you can set like a summary of the content, which we don't even need that because we have our own description field. And comments, so you can see the comments right on the custom post page itself. So that's that. Sorry about the confusion in the last video. For the person who actually asked about it, thank you. I'm sorry about the assuming that I already covered it when I did not cover it, but I hope it's cleared up now, and I hope you get it. Anything else like that comes up, don't be afraid to bring it up, because I will want to cover it. I want to cover everything. Everything from the ground up has to be covered in this series. So though, back to what we were going to do. We were going to style. Just style today, right? And we have to work on making the responsive bit of the thumbnail list not horrible. And we'll do that, but I don't know if we'll get to that part in this part because we have quite a bit of stuff to do. We'll see how it goes, simple. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this, the blue on the nav bar. I'm going to make it a kind of a deep gray, not really too dark and not really too light, just right in the middle. And I want to get rid of the box shadow because it doesn't really work for the type of website I want to go for. And if we Control S, and yes, I would like to buy, oh, no, now. And if we go ahead and refresh and F5 and get that, you see that we have the gray background now. and you know, we have to change some stuff still. On the hover, I want it to hover, I would say, now you may not agree with this, but we're going to go with this and see how it looks. We have a green down here somewhere. We do have a green. And I would like to check that green out. Maybe it's on the play button. Yeah, play button. Here we go. We have a green right here. We can grab this green, take this green up here for the hover, use that for that, and use it for the other UL right here. That's the drop-down UL, the sub-menu UL. So now we hover. Oh, no. We don't, sorry. We don't want that. We want that to be 4B, 4B, 4B. Right, the dark gray. Refresh. There we go. Now we get the really bright green. May not like that. It may not be your thing, but we have it. And I may change that eventually, but for now is what we're going to go with. And we're going to get rid of the box shadow on that because it just doesn't work without the main navigation having it as well. So we get that. Now what I want to do is go to the new games. H1 it has the blue background. We want to give it the gray background. Refresh that. There we go. Now what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to style this a bit different than it is. What I want to do is set the font size on this to be about just normal size. Take it down to normal size. Something like that. And we want to add a bit of padding to the H1 for this. Let's add like a 3 pixel padding. Okay, that works, sure. I don't know what I just said. I just made up some words there. And I think that might be it for the changing of that stuff. Oh, no. I want to make these uppercase, but I don't want to have to go in and change all of my titles, my words, whatever, my text, all with caps lock on. You know, we're just going to go and do it the smart way, the CSS way. So no matter what you type in there, it will always be uppercase. How can we do that? What we're going to do is we're going to go find where we're styling the links right here. And I'm going to say text transform uppercase. Okay? Control S, view this, boom, uppercase. So now everything inside of that will be uppercase. Stuff still may change. I'm not saying this is finalized. I think it looks a bit better like this already. You may disagree. You may like the blue. I don't. It'll look a bit better when we do this. When we get this list stuff sorted out here. One thing that I'm noticing is that we have a list of thumbnails, and we're using not a list. We're not using a list. So why don't we use a list for that? And let's see. We got div class game thumb, right? Why is that not a list item? Should that not be a list item? Let's just do that. Let's put this. Let's put all of this. Okay, let's put all of this in a UL, the anchor tag. Okay. Now let's tab that over there. Then we can make this a list item as a part of that unordered list. Control S. If we refresh that, you'll see nothing's changed, but it's a bit more correct in the back end now because we have this list. Okay, so what we want to do though is actually take this Control X. We want to put this outside of our loop. I didn't catch that at first there, but I did before we broke it. Put that outside the loop because we don't want to loop through with the UL. We want the UL to be the whole encompassing thing. It takes up everything. Refresh that. Nothing's changed, but it's more correct now. We don't have 4 unordered lists for each list item. We have 1 unordered list and 4 list items. That's good. So now what we want to do is actually work on the looks of the list itself. Let's go into style.css. So we have new games and game thumb. So it's floating left, so it goes boom and then boom, boom, right? So we can keep that like it is. And now we want to actually target the game thumb image. See what we're doing right here is targeting the new games image. And we don't want to do that. We want to target the game thumb image. So I just noticed we still have that though. So we can take this away and put that there. Why do we want to do that instead of the other way? Well, because new games is this whole section, while game thumb is this list item. So we don't want to target this whole section just because we have an image in here later on. We don't want it to be floating to the left without us telling it to. So we want to do that right there. Make sure we target the specific image, which is this thumbnail. Refresh that, nothing's changed, which is good, because if it did, then we broke something. But we didn't break anything, so that's also a good thing, right? So margin to the right of this. I want to set a margin to the right of this image of about 5 pixels. Maybe. We may go a bit more. I think 10 pixels will be the way to go. And then what we want to do is we want some kind of separation between these, right? But if I was to say I want to add 5 pixels margin to the right side of this whole container that contains this whole list item right here, it would actually add on to the overall width of it. But we can do something that will fix that, and we'll get to that in a little bit whenever we actually come up on the use for that, but we won't go over it too much yet. It'll be in this video, just not right yet. Now what we need to do is actually get the description down a line, because right now our description is taken off right from our title, right on the same line. And that's not how that works, right? So in the index.php, on the description field, we're going to put this in a paragraph tag. If we refresh that, that fixes our problem. This description still has the link styling on it. Even though this link style is not going to be used anyway, we don't want the description to share the same style as the title of the game, as the link itself. Even though this whole thing's a link, it's still going to look like a link itself, right? So how can we fix that? What we can do is we can say paragraph tag, whatever is inside the paragraph tag, do not receive the anchor tag styling that we want to do. And we could do is go inside and say target the paragraph and give it specific styles. So I'll go inside the game thumb. So game thumb P. So we're going to target the paragraph tag, and we're going to give it a color of, I don't know, for now the only color I can think of is 4B, 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 which is that that gray color we're using. And we're going to say text style none, right? I'm sorry, not style, decoration. What was I thinking there? Text decoration none. So now we have the description separated from the title. Now what we want to do is actually go up to the top, and we'll say font family sans serif. So the default font family for a whole website is going to be sans serif. Now what we need to do is actually take and give it some space right below this heading tag. Give it some margin below that, or give it some margin above our thumbnails. What should we do in this case? What I want to do is on the actual heading. And we could do that right here. We could say the new game's H1, give it some margin below that. Or we could do it in our actual heading styles, so they share the same styles for all the headings. I'm going to do it up here and say margin, or not margin, top, margin, bottom. We may go through later on and do the shorthand version of all this, but it depends how much we have for this. Like if we have margin top and bottom we define for this, then yeah, we'll go through and do that. But just for margin bottom, nah, not yet. Do 10 pixels. I believe that's the size that we're using for everything else. Now what we want to do is you can really see, since we changed the style of font, that this is right up against that, right? How can we fix that? We can go inside. I know I'm just going up and down, but we are doing a lot of different stuff in a lot of different places. So it's hard to do everything in one area and then go to the next area, because I'll have to change stuff as I go through. We could do some padding on the right here of 5 pixels or so. I don't know what that's going to do. See, there we go. We have something that I can work on explaining and see if I can get it to make some sense to you.